Hello ladies and gentlemen, it is Mythic Games back with another tutorial. So if you guys were really intrigued by that awesome cinematic, well, it wasn't really that awesome, but it was pretty good enough. So if you guys were really intrigued by that and really want to know how to make something like that, well, you best watch this tutorial to the very end. So basically what this tutorial will allow you guys to do is go off and create your own little cinematics for your maps and missions. So basically intros, showing off key points of your maps. It'll also allow you to show a little dialogue box with some backstory and basically all that mumbo jumbo. So this will allow you to be able to experiment to the point of being a little expert. So without further ado, if you guys do like this tutorial and that you feel that it helped you, feel free to like, comment and subscribe, and without further ado, let's get on into the tutorial. So hey guys, the first thing you're going to want to do is load up your map in the gem editor, and then once you've loaded up your map, just quickly zoom on in and turn on F3 mode, which you can do by pressing F3. So now that you're in F3 mode, on your map, you're gonna want to position your camera to where you want this cinematic to begin. So it could be in a trench. You want to try and get your camera inside the trench and level with the troops, or something like that, or inside a house. So now that your camera is positioned, then what you're gonna want to do is go in. See all these tools? You're gonna want to go straight down to camera, which you can access by pressing 7 on the keyboard as well. So now you see you have this box here, keyframes, and then this box up here. So up here we're going to right click and add insert the input name for the camera. So this is going to be intro intro underscore tutorial, and then you just want to hit OK. So now that you've hit OK, preview and timescale has now become highlighted. And this is, right now we're just going to ignore these for now. Then you're going to want to make sure you have intro tutorials selected, or whatever you have called it. You're going to want to go down to keyframes and see where your camera is sitting. It will now, if we add an insert, it will now add a key. So when we move the camera back, now we see the keyframe here. So it's a bit like stop motion in a way. So it's more or less stop motion, but of course it's not. So now that we have our first keyframe done, everywhere that you move the camera and right click and insert will create a keyframe. The first keyframe will always be at 0. So then I'm going to want to zoom in and maybe angle my camera down a bit and then move it forward like this. Okay, so that's far enough, and then I'm going to add another keyframe. So you just basically right click and add. So now it's connected those two keyframes, and we can, to know that they're connected, we can preview. So there you go. Now they're connected, so we're going to move again. And we're gonna maybe keyframe at the side of this bridge, and then we're gonna maybe angle the camera around a bit, maybe here. No, maybe here. So there. Now we see that the path of the camera has actually angled itself. So this is the path of the camera, this blue line here. And it's basically angling itself around. So then we're gonna want to maybe angle it a bit again, something like that, and add an insert. So again, that's just basically all you gotta do is keep moving the camera about and inserting keyframes. So I'm just gonna quickly go through making keyframes, and then we're gonna angle it up here, and then we're gonna have the camera then go around this little village that I have created, and this will actually be a map that I am working on at this current present time. So we're gonna have roughly around maybe 10 keyframes at the most. Oh, messing around here. For me, it's gonna be 12. So there is our whole path of our camera. So yes, now we can preview this by pressing the preview up here, and we can also stop it at any time. So we're just going to watch as the camera runs around here. Circles the village. Yes, interesting. So I'm sure you've noticed that it's going way too fast for our liking. So in order to slow it down, you're going to want to go maybe up in 5s. So from 0, you're going to want to go 5. And then from 5, you're going to want to go 10. And then you're just going to want to continue that on. So basically the speed of the camera may it's basically all determines on how fast or how slow you want the camera to go. So for me, I just want the camera to go super duper slow. So we're just going to go up in 5s, so from 25 to 30 to 35 to 40 and so forth. So let's keep on doing that. And of course, it's really annoying how you have to change each one. I know, terrible, terrible, terrible. But anyway, then we're gonna go 50. I'm getting old. Yes, I'm at 50 years of age. No. So then we're gonna want to go 55 and then 60. Dang, I'm getting close to my pension. Woo. Now that we've changed all of the speeds, and the higher the number, the slower the camera will be. So now that we preview this, look how slow the camera is going now. Oh. So this is basically a good way to allow you to show off key parts of the your map, basically. We're gonna slowly crawl around here. Yep. This is super duper cool. Yes, interesting. Look at this. We're getting there. Yep, almost there. So we're gonna get all the way around. So yeah, that's pretty much what the cinematics really consist of. And as you can see on the right hand side, if you've been watching the keyframes, they're changing from 8 to 9 to then it'll change to 10. And that's basically whenever your camera reaches that keyframe that you created, it'll change. So we're just going to stop that. Now we're going to get on with the actual trigger creating, and it's super duper simple, guys. You're going to freak out on how easy it is. So we go to triggers, we add and insert. Of course, we're going to call this our intro underscore camera. I think I spelled camera right. My bad. Let's see, did I spell it right? I did, yes. Okay. And then you're going to want to go to commands and add and insert again. So for me, because I already tested this out, is scenario. So in order to find scenario, you go to your scene. So basically like creating a movie, and you get all this stuff. And down here is scenario. So we select scenario, hit OK, and then we get this properties for scenario prompt box, and basically it has all these different settings that you can mess around with and yada yada yada. But anyway, what we're gonna want to do is start from the top here. So text, we can add text, which is, you will see in a moment. So here is my text that I created a while ago. We can hit OK. So now that's added. In order to create one, we just add, and of course 01, and then we add our text in here, so a bunch of gibberish, and then you're going to want to hit enter on your keyboard. And I've noticed that if you hit OK, it doesn't save it or anything, so we hit enter on our keyboard and it says text browser changed, and then we hit save and then it saves it. So this one we want to have selected. Sound, you can link a sound for the player if you have custom sounds for say a mod. So for me, I have zombies, and for all mods and a lightsaber or lightsabers, for me, I will link all of my mods that I use for Men of War in the description. So, and then we go down to camera. We want to link the name. So of course, the camera that we created was intro tutorial. So we're gonna put the name in. So loop, if you want the camera to loop around the path as multiple times. Not synced is a very funny one. I'd just leave that. Disabled cancel. So basically, whenever cinematic's taking too long, the player has the option to be able to cancel the cinematic. If you tick this, it will not allow them to cancel the cinematic. But of course, for me, I don't want to I don't want that not to be able to uncancel. So smooth begin, we don't want that. Smooth end, we don't want that either, but you can also apply those if you want. Force autocomplete, do not restore, and do not force autocomplete. Yes, tick those. So now that those are all ticked, it's basically up to you whether you wish to experiment or not. So we're gonna hit OK, and now we're actually gonna go and play the cinematics. So without further ado, let's hit start. Boom, there we are. So now we're gonna follow the camera, follow the camera's course in a cinematic view. And as you can see, we have continue or cancel up at the top right hand corner, so I can stop this cinematic at any time to get on with the mission. And you know the dialogue box we put in? This is it down here. Welcome one and all to this awesome tutorial. So yes, and then we're gonna slowly go around the encampment, or village, and the floor in that house is absolutely disappeared, but it's okay. I guess they're sleeping on invisible floors. So yeah, this is a really cool thing for you guys to experiment with, to create awesome little cinematics, basically get a bit of reputation for a good cinematic maker. And it opens up a lot of experimental options for you to mess around with. And that is the end of the pathing for our camera. So basically in this tutorial you have learned how to create a keyframe path and change up the intervals. Oh, what's going on there? Discord's messing up. Oh, why am I even connected to Discord? Weird. But anyway, so now that ad has been created, oh dear, it has basically now become your mission to go and experiment. So if you guys do like this tutorial, do ignore Discord, my apologies, but yeah, so now I leave it up to you guys to experiment. And if you guys have any tutorials that you want me to cover, please do leave them down in the comments, and I will be happy enough to cover them when I get around to covering them. And basically we're coming to the end of the basic tutorial, so we'll be getting into more advanced stuff soon enough. But anyway, enough of my rambling. It has been Mythic Games teaching you this awesome little basic intro into cinematics, and it has been an honor to teach. So without further ado, I shall say my goodbyes and see you all in the next video. Bye.